A Journey into the Unknown. Chapter 56. The ghosts of the past are all around you. Memories of those who have left this world consume every waking hour for some of you. You may have photos or mementos of those you knew personally and those you admired from afar. What happens when you die? This word is in quotation marks because you never really die. The body and character you have been playing both die, but you do not. You become invisible and cannot be heard from through normal channels. Death, and the fear of it, is one of the toughest things for humans to process. Some people never really recover from deaths of loved ones. They carry this grief with them for the rest of their current lifetime. They wonder if things could have been different, if the disease could have been healed if caught earlier, if the tragedy could have had a different outcome. I will say to you that death is nothing more than walking backstage from being in the spotlight at the front of the stage. The newly departed move from being a star to being a behind-the-scenes star, making everything the audience sees run smoothly and efficiently. For every person on the world stage at any given time, there are legions of unseen, behind-the-scenes players. Memories are not only intact, but are actually enhanced because souls have access to all of their films or plays, their lifetimes. They see clearly for the first time in a long time and can see how the egos they were assigned helped or hurt other developing souls. They frequently make plans for their next starring role. And yes, others are cast in the same movie or play. All of this strengthens souls and allows them the opportunity to grow leaps and bounds, or not. Sometimes the movie is a horror show, and a character really isn't given the opportunity to flourish for one reason or another. Fortunately, every soul is given every opportunity to be the hero and to shine through the exterior facade. Chapter 57. Most behind-the-scenes players enjoyed being free of their oftentimes diseased, frail, elderly, and wounded bodies. For the most part, they served them well. Those who die young and unexpectedly require extra tender, loving care to become accustomed to their new situations. The scripts for human life are very loosely written. Human life is largely improvisational and ego-driven. The influence of the soul is dependent on its maturity level. Most mature souls have a great deal of influence over a character's life and the lives it interacts with, either directly or indirectly. Behind-the-scenes players have more influence on the script and flow of life than you may realize. One day you may be surprised to learn about how much help you have actually received from beyond the veil. Just think about all those times when there was almost a car accident, almost a drowning, almost an overdose, almost a being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You have us to thank for that, as does virtually everyone. We are your support system. Life on Earth would really be a mess without us. You will rejoin us behind the scenes one day. Together, we provide the whole picture. Humans only see half of it. Chapter 58. The ability to see clearly and to see the whole picture rests not on denying what your eyes show you, but seeing through whatever presents itself to what is actually causing it. Humans only see effects. Non-human humans see cause and effect. Fear and love are both causes, and both have effects. Some are clear to see, and some are shrouded in mystery. Use your skills to discern what is really going on in any situation. If you're stumped, ask for our additional insight. A good rule of thumb is not to judge appearances, because they will frequently lead you off track. A smiling face from a human with an immature soul can have a multitude of meanings. Friendly may be lower on the list than deceit. Learn to trust how you feel about an interaction with someone. All of you have been bestowed with psychic gifts or a sixth sense of knowing. A Course in Miracles discouraged judgment because your eyes only show you part of something. And to declare that this something is good or bad is far from fair without knowing all of the unseen and unknown aspects. Knowing and acceptance replace judgment when deity is your guide. When ego is your guide, learning to refrain from judgment is learning to tame the ego and put a lid on it, so to speak. A Course of Love cemented the idea that judgment does not originate from love. Some readers of A Course of Love misunderstood my words to mean that nothing matters and that you should do whatever you want because you are God and you are playing in duality. Please know that what you do does in fact matter, and that you no longer live in illusion once Christ has become you and your full vision has been restored. There is good and bad. It is just that they are more complicated than simplistic. Chapter 59. To begin again is to be fresh in each moment, free of the clouds and weeds of the past. We have always had the opportunity to live this way, but so many have felt that they needed permission from somewhere to dare to be so unconcerned about the past. Your entire civilization is built on history and the importance of it. On one level, history is certainly interesting. It's interesting to see where humanity was developmentally throughout the centuries. Many things have changed, and yet some things haven't changed much at all. The ego is largely unchanged. Mature souls have the power to soften their ego's harsh stances and opinions about virtually everything. Immature souls are pretty much enslaved by an ego. The luckiest of them get let out of their cages once in a while to go for a walk. This is what you signed up for: the eventual disempowerment of an ego. What an extremely difficult and tall order that was. Let us all rejoice and pat each other on the backs for this accomplishment. Most parts of your individual movies or plays have been unscripted and improvisational, mostly to meet your own selfish needs and desires. This next part, however, is completely uncharted. This is when each of you step into other people's TV shows and influence the script directly, forever changing and altering the course of those lives. You are the special guest star. Chapter 60. Let us begin this day with gratitude towards all spiritual trailblazers throughout history. They are many, and they had an impact during their time. This is your time to have an impact and be a spiritual trailblazer. Take the bull by the horns and enjoy the ride. There will never be another time like this, so make your mark. Show up for your assignments. We are ready to guide all available souls, but you have to be ready, at sometimes just a moment's notice. This is accomplished by being in communication with us during every moment of every waking hour. To do this, you don't have to give up anything. Just stay connected with us while you do it. If you take a walk or a bike ride, let us go with you. Take us to the grocery store. Invite us to listen to music with you. Most importantly, stay connected with us when you talk to others. It's easy to drift off. Be an Olympic weightlifter for spiritual connectivity. What is spiritual connectivity? It's when your soul is consciously connected to other souls, both here in the physical world and in the non-physical world. This is how we not only grow, but influence. Did you know that there is no limit to how much a soul can grow? My work with you has caused my soul to grow leaps and bounds. Once fully mature, a soul still grows and develops. a soul is an aspect of God. So, as you can see, God is always growing, always creating. Our work of creating saints has been limited to a small group, the first wave. Next, we want to go viral with second, third, fourth, and so on waves. Chapter 61. The fire and brimstone of eternal damnation, described in ancient texts, pales in comparison to the type of punishment the human mind inflicts on itself and on others. Judgment is worse than the eternal flames of hell. The human brain, in consort with its master, the ego, accomplish what punishment after death cannot. 24/7 torture now. Why do you think your society has so many imprisoned, addicted to various substances and activities, physically sick, without basic resources, living with anger and regret? The ego might as well be a real Satan, because it functions like a devil who takes a perverse pleasure in tormenting its host. People numb themselves with gambling, drinking, drugs, sex, and violence. Being reborn as Christ is the only lasting solution to all of this. Imagine a society where there are no problems, only the freedom to create more and more love. Keep this goal in mind at all times, my sisters and brothers. Chapter 62. You are each a portal that connects the spirit world with the physical world. We make ourselves known through each of you as unique expressions of the one self. Each portal is different from another. The more portals there are, the greater our influence. The fewer there are, the less influential we are. A world with mostly immature souls and very few portals describes the earth until the start of the Great Awakening in the mid-1970s, with the release of A Course in Miracles. We are looking to expand our influence by strengthening and renewing the covenants we have with current servants, serving as portals, and also by creating new portals. Clearing up any misunderstandings about key principles from A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love is how we seek to strengthen the connections we have in your world. Some of these misunderstandings have taken on a life of their own and have made splinter groups appear. This cannot be if we are to be effective in our mission. We must all be united and on the same page, so to speak. If we are to be taken seriously, we must not belittle our sisters and brothers by either saying directly and or implying that they are having a nightmarish bad dream and or blaming them for being a victim, and suggesting that somehow they are responsible for causing other people's actions. Another key component to avoid is suggesting that people are playing their parts or roles, that they were somehow assigned to them by God, therefore justifying whatever actions they take. You can say that God assigned a person the role of son or daughter in a family, but it's the ego that decides how that role is played, not the soul, at least not for a very long time. We don't want someone to reject the truth because they think we are insane.